Well, Anne saw it.
I think a lot of people saw it, actually. God.
I don't know. It's hard to tell, you know, 'cause
Everybody's busy right now and like
Yeah.
are on their last vacation, and that's how it goes sometimes. But we're here.
yeah, we're here.
Yeah. Are you ready? Okay.
Oh,
We're doing it.
oh no.
I'll just do a short intro.
Okay.
Here we are. Welcome,
Alrighty.
everyone. I'm really happy you're all here tonight. Tonight we have Kelly Maloney, who's a quite prolific local author. Really excited to hear about her newest books and all of that. I'm Carol Ripley. I'm the Adult Services Librarian. So welcome and hello. And so without too much more, I'll just pass it over to Kelly, who could talk about her books. So thank you.
So, am I hearing? Can you hear?
Talk a little bit, and if folks need amplification, let me know.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, well, as Kara told you, I'm Kelly Maloney, and I'm a local author here in Oregon. Thank you for coming to my Oregon Public Library author event. And I'm trying to do something at the same time. And we will be started. I'm going to find my place. Okay, I'm going to do a brief background about myself and how my writing came to be. I'll begin my talk from the day I checked out an Agatha Christie mystery when I was in junior high, and I was hooked at that moment. From that point on, I just loved mysteries all my life. I read all of Agatha's novels, and then gradually I moved on to more current mysteries, such as Mary Higgins Clark, and then Sue Grafton. She became my favorite. And Sue made me realize that books don't have to be politically correct. You can write about any genre and even invent words such as shenaniganders. So the dictionary says that the meaning of shenaniganders are people pulling pranks and causing mischief. So I went farther by calling the pranksters shenaniganders. And when it was put into a question, I wrote, "Who's shenaniganding?" So that said, I enjoy the challenge of figuring out whodunit stories. After following Mary Higgins Clark, Sue Grafton, and other mystery writers, I realized I grew tired of the same kind of mysteries, regardless of the genre. They all began to read the same to me. I wanted mysteries that I could identify with. I wanted to write a mystery that I could relate to. That said, I wanted to write a mystery that features a heroine that is not a life-saving surgeon or a snooty CEO at a trillion-dollar high-tech company who works in a towering high-rise office. I mean, how many people do you know like that? I only see those types on television. And so that's where my journey began. I wanted to write books that I can relate to, not rich book authors, celebrities that carry around pink poodles in their humongous purses. So I am perfectly happy living here in charming Oregon, Wisconsin for well over 40 years now. When I finally braved it to take the plunge into authorship, it took 5 tries to write the first book before I felt it was good enough. It drove my husband crazy. He would say, It's good enough as it is. But I kept editing until I felt it was right. Lost my place, sorry. Oh, he had read what I wrote, and then he said, "This is good, you should publish this." And so we did. I'm not really good at public speaking, but I try. The first book I wrote was The Death of Stacy. My heroine, Lauren Murphy, is a kind but very spunky florist and is always willing to help others while starting her very own first business. Stacy was Lauren's lifelong best friend who died tragically when she ran out into traffic against the light. The police declared it to be an accident, but Lauren knew it was not. Stacy took great care to teach her own children how to cross the street safely. Lauren found the cop that ruled Stacy's death as an accident, but the police quickly closed the case. Lauren took it into her own hands to find the real truth of Stacy's death and to prove the bullish cop that he was wrong all along about the circumstances of Stacy's death. The detective saw an accident and so ruled it as an accident. Lauren was convinced he was wrong and started sleuthing to prove him that he's wrong. She did, and she was able to identify Stacy's killer. In 2021, I published that first murder mystery, and that book is still selling after all this time. It was so popular I made it into a series, as so many readers asked if I was going to make a sequel. They asked, what happens to Lauren next? And what happens to Curtis Kopp, the cop that saved Lauren's life after she had identified Stacy's killer? My series is set in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where my family and relatives were settled for many years. So I have firsthand knowledge of Green Bay, and yes, the Green Bay Packers come and go throughout my books. The Lauren Murphy Mystery Series has grown bigger and bigger, and as Lauren and Kurt's lives continue to grow, I have made it available in paperback, ebooks, and now audiobooks. I have published and released the 10th book of the series. My books in the series are all labeled numerically in order to keep the series in the order of reading for a smooth transition from one book to the next book. The series intertwines plots and continues subplots with each new installment to the series. While each plot is unique and the books can be read independently, it is best to follow the books in the order as they follow the life adventures of the heroine. The Death of Stacy and my mystery writing career took hold with the plot ideas swirling in my head, just waiting to be written. I bring new characters into my books so that there are plenty of suspects and plenty of poor, unfortunate victims that will lose their life for the sake of being in a Lauren Murphy mystery. The second installment of my Lauren Murphy mysteries is titled The Death of Me, followed by Eddie's Revenge, A State of Confusion, Big Girls Don't Cry, Hook, Line, and Sinker, Life of Lies, Blood on the Rug, and Accessory to Murder. Today, I am celebrating the release of the 10th installment of the series. A lot has happened to Lauren and Kurt throughout the mystery series, and their characters evolve with whatever life brings upon them. I often wonder, how can a kind-hearted florist get into so much trouble? And how can so many crimes and murders happen in Green Bay, Wisconsin? Well, if Jessica Fletcher from Cabot Cove, Maine, has a weekly murder to solve each week, I think that Lauren Murphy can help bring justice to the good people of Green Bay. Don't you think? So while Lauren and Kurt's adventures are far from over, I have decided to expand my genre beyond murder mysteries, and I'm also excited to release the novel entitled Love So Cruel, Heartbreak and Love. The novel revolves around often misunderstood and overlooked young man as he deals with the affliction with social anxiety disorder and its effect on his life and relationships. Social anxiety disorder is a mental health condition in which a person's social actions cause irrational anxiety, fear, self-consciousness, and embarrassment. The lead character is Norman Walker, who has dealt with anxiety and personal isolation throughout his life, compounded by the death of his primary support, his father. Norman is confident in what he knows best: information, technology, computer programming, but he lacks confidence in his social life, leading to isolation and a very small circle of friends. He focuses his attention on a young lady whom he has never met face to face and who he affectionately calls his angel. The story follows this developing relationship and manipulation of relationships that lead to misunderstandings and heartbreak. I hope you would enjoy reading Norman's journey. Just like many of our own relationships, social encounters can be filled with joy and, unfortunately, heartbreak and some lost love. This is a standalone novel unrelated to Lauren Murphy Mystery Series. Nor does the nonfiction book I Am My Mother's Mother, A Loving Journey Through Dementia. This book is also available in hardcover. So thank you for coming to my talk here in Oregon Public Library. It's a beautiful library, I'll tell you. At this time, I would like to open to the floor for any questions that you might have. Okay.
So you've written 10 books in the Lauren Murphy series. How do you come up with ideas for what happens next? Where do you, as someone I read a lot of mystery, and I thought, oh, I should write a mystery, but like when it comes down to it, I can't come up with a plot. Like where does it come from?
My crazy imagination. I don't know. It's something I've always wanted to do, and I just dove in and tried it, and it just seemed to come easy. I don't know. I may be demented. I don't know, but maybe I like killing people, but I don't think that's the case. I've not killed anyone yet, except in writing. Any other questions? Or?
Do you have any updates on the Love So Cruel book?
Oh, okay. So, The Love So Cruel, the copyright process is completed, and the e-reader and audio versions are now available in paperback. The paperback version will be available by next week. Thanks for reminding me.
Is that book number 11, or is that a standalone, or that's the one you just talked about?
I also didn't mention that I'm here to be I lost my notes, but we just
Well,
I don't know.
I do all that.
So
The first 10 books on the table, those are all Lauren Murphy mystery
right,
stories.
right.
Her newest one is Love So Cruel, and that's the one based on the young man with social anxiety disorder.
Mhm.
And she also has a nonfiction book that follows her mom's dementia. She's also in the process of finishing another standalone book that is a mystery, but not necessarily a murder mystery, called The Secrets of Waterford Mansion.
Yeah.
So
Well, that one's not quite
she
ready yet.
Yeah, she keeps herself quite busy. So any publishing questions, go to me.
So what stirred you to be a writer?
Well, it's something that I always wanted to try, and I know my dad read a lot, and my uncle wrote, how many? Like 40 books, I think. He was a Jesuit priest, and so he started up a ministry and his object was to bring the East and the West religions together. That was his thing, and he wrote so many books on theology. But
I've really enjoyed your books, but I think my mother's mother really kind of touched my heart.
yeah.
You know,
Thank you.
because it seemed so personal as you
Yeah.
wrote it, the way you wrote it.
Yeah.
Which it was, obviously.
It was a hard decision to publish that one because, like you say, it's a kind of a personal thing. But, my mother passed away, and and not long after I wrote that book. But
I think it would be a really good guide for anybody who's a caregiver.
yeah,
Just for the sense of not feeling alone.
right.
That other people have gotten through it and been through it, so it's been a different, experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think I did one author talk on that book, and I believe that people were asking questions, about, I'm just tongue-tied today, I guess, but they were asking, like, how to go about helping the family, the lady, whoever it is, and so that it's like a book that can offer suggestions and how to get through all the times when my mom had a lot of problems with the caretakers that she had. And so they did not really want to work. They were calling me all the time to come over and take care of my mom, and which she pays a lot of money for having them do it. So it just, there's a lot that is in the book that you don't expect to see in there because I didn't know what I was getting into when I took over her care. But
Right, I think most people don't
yeah,
understand, what's ahead.
yeah,
This is a good guide for that?
I think so. I think it is. But I have a brother and sister, and neither of them supported me while I was taking care of their mother. so it was a difficult time, for us, for both of us.
I could ask, why didn't your brother and sister support you? Because they didn't want to have to take their turns?
They-
Or they thought she should go to a facility?
I think they didn't want to take care of her because I know my sister said that that she would take care of my mom when she couldn't take care of herself, and so she expected that. But when it came to actually having to do that, it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
She found a place way out. She's in San Jose, and she found a place miles and miles and miles away. And I said, well, how can you take care of her that far away from home? And then she works, and so I just said, I'll take care of her, because. And what made me really mad was my sister would always say, I don't have a mother anymore. I don't have a mother anymore. I said, you do have a mother. She has dementia, but you do have a mother. She's still here. She's still, somewhat able to, to have a life. But, you have to make that for her. So.
I have another question.
Okay.
I can change the topic.
Okay.
Prior to starting your writing, did you have another career or?
Well, I worked in a lot of banks.
Okay.
and ran the food pantry across the street for a long while. And otherwise,
She was a stay-at-home mom.
well, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a good job.
Well, yeah.
Time
Yeah.
for nothing then.
Yeah, three boys. So,
That keeps you going.
yep, yep.
Been writing. You're new to me, so.
Oh, okay. I started in 2021. Did my first book.
Wow. Wow.
and then in 2022, I thought I was going to lose my writing because I made myself a business. Because if you don't make yourself a business, the IRS will consider you okay.
A single proprietor?
Well, not a single proprietor, but they would consider you as a hobby. And so I had to make myself a business, so now I'm a business. But
So where can we purchase these books, as like a brick and mortar stores around town here, or just online?
well, we can buy them right here.
Right.
and we sell on Amazon. All my books are on Amazon, but they'll charge you more than we do. So, oh, yep.
Does Hy-Vee still carry them?
Yeah, Hy-Vee still sells them for us.
Do you have a favorite location to write, a favorite time of day?
I usually just,
You wake up in the middle of the night and start?
well, I do early in the morning when I get up and dressed and everything and I'm already ready to start the day. I'll go right to my book, open up the book and, the file anyway. And I start working every morning for a while. Can't do it all day, but sometimes I do. Yes, I don't know. I think it's an obsession.
Do you start and it's all in your head and it flows? or do you use an outline or webbing to put thoughts together?
I'm looking at him because I don't make outlines,
Okay,
okay? I call myself a freestyler
okay.
because I'll come up with the idea, I'll know what I want to write, I'll think it out, and until I am sure that that's what I want it to be, that's what I want it to have, and I just write.
Your description of yourself then is very apropos.
Well,
Kelly has always been like that. She doesn't outline anything. When she starts a book, she does not know how it's going to end.
well, that's true because
She doesn't necessarily know just
because
how many people are
because
gonna
I
die.
can change my mind sometimes, and I want that freedom if I have to change my mind, and I do sometimes.
What's the hardest part of the book to write, the beginning, middle, or the end?
I would say the middle.
The middle?
Yeah.
You somehow have to go transition into the, okay.
Yeah, that you have to go deep into the story by that time. You know, when you're in the middle, you have to go, you know, deeper and deeper and get meaner and meaner.
By the time you get through the middle or to the middle, you know how it's going to end at that point, or you still can change your mind?
I could still change my mind. So, and I didn't talk about my new book, A True Hero, and that is my 10th book, and I don't know where did I get that. And we were celebrating the new book for this program, or this talk, which I didn't get to. But an example of how I operate. So I read the last line on The True Hero because I was away from the book for a long time before, you know, after I wrote it, and it was just a very brief thing that it said, and it wouldn't make sense if I said it, but it was how the book ended, and the first thing I did was there's a cop in the book and a florist in the book, and the first thing I thought was, okay, so Kurt, the cop, has to take that lady into custody because she killed a guy at the end of the book. and you know, I was already starting to plan that next part of the book. I just go right into one to another, and that's how my series kind of goes too.
Because that makes sense. When I read The Death of Stacy, which was last week,
Oh.
yeah, late to the show. Well, I've got a long way to go, which is, you know, good. The reason I read it was because I saw the advertisement about your presentation tonight, and I thought that name's familiar. I wonder if I've read any of her books. Oh, no, I hadn't. But I had the first one on my e-reader.
Oh.
And I probably bought it because you were from Wisconsin. And
Bless your heart.
so I read it, and I really loved it. It was well done. It was well thought out. It grabbed me right away.
Oh, good.
So then when I read The Death of Stacy, and I'm sorry,
I mean,
The
yeah.
Death of Me, I'm like, okay, and now it's over here, and now it's over here, and then it's drawing from that first one back in with a character. I don't want
Tell people how
to,
it
you don't want any spoilers. So I'm like, okay, but then when you said how you write, That's exactly, and it was like, oh, this is life. This is the way life works. So,
Well-
but that explains it. So I have 3 on there now. So.
Oh.
I'm giving it a rest. I'm reading something else first. But yeah, okay.
It's Sunday.
I'm going to come around and be closer.
To be honest, I have never been a fan of mysteries. And
I'm going to just come
when I
bring
read
a chair
The
over.
Death of Stacy,
I'll go in the middle.
I
So.
started it and ended up staying up all night reading it because I wanted to see where it was going, you know?
Uh-huh.
And I was really, like you say, drawn in, you know, it just kind of sucks you in. And then, you know, I went on to read them all, the last 2. I have to get to those. Or get those, I guess, not even get. But. Are you planning any more books in the Death of Stacy series, or are you kind of moving on to this new?
No, I'm still going to do the series because I love Lauren and Kurt.
Like, family?
They are like family.
Yeah. After a while, they would become.
Well, after that many books.
Kind of part of your life.
Yeah, they are.
Because you've done
Yeah.
almost 2 a year.
Yeah. Well, there is more, you know, when I don't remember which book it is that I think it was, I don't know. Just keep reading. Because life goes on, and things happen, and good and bad.
Well,
And,
that's life.
yeah.
Do your children have a writing, art, talent?
I don't know. I don't think any of my kids were interested in writing, and I think when I started writing, they thought I was crazy. But I do have a son that made a website for me, so now I have a website. But other than that, I don't think anyone's really interested in writing.
So there's 2 takeaways from her series. One is a florist can get into a heck of a lot of trouble. And you don't want to live in Green Bay because there's a very high risk for being murdered.
Yeah, my story is set in Green Bay, so.
Why did you choose Green Bay?
Because my family and all of my relations, you know, of relatives lived in Green Bay. My dad lived there, you know, when he was a child and grew up there, and so it was just kind of I knew Green Bay more than I knew of any other city or even Oregon, you know. I thought about making a murder in Oregon, but I just didn't know. That was the one that would have stymied me, you know, because I don't know where I'd go with it right now. I could probably figure it out if I tried, but
But now you and your
But-
husband live in Oregon, right?
yeah. Yeah, we have been for like 40 years or more.
And if that's okay to, you know, ask, like, did you have a medical problem
I did.
that you want to motivate us about?
Do you know me? Well, I will tell you about the death of me and why I wrote it. Because,
That would be a different. Oh, yeah, that's right.
excuse me.
I thought you were going to talk about a state of confusion, because that's.
Well, that's another one. But that's because I was having trouble getting my words out right. But
I think you're doing good.
so when I wrote The Death of Me, I knew why I was writing it. I knew exactly why I was writing it because I wrote The Death of Stacy, and it was successful. But in 2020, well, I guess it was still 2021, but I found out that I had to have open heart surgery. And so I wrote The Death of Me, and I really worked hard on it. I worked hard and long, and I wanted to get it done, in short order, because that would end my, if I died during the surgery, it would be the end of my writing career. And I had just started the writing career the year before. And so I told Mark, and I think he was kind of mad at me for that, but I said, if I die during surgery, I want you to publish that book, so I at least have 2 books to my credit.
And look at what you've accomplished.
So that was that. And then I did write another book about me and the hardship I went through. So
From the heart surgery.
from the heart surgery, because 2022 I had open heart surgery. And well, you can probably tell the story better than I can because I was unconscious most of the time. So
Briefly, during the surgery, there was an issue with blood flow to the brain. So there was a brain injury, and she had to redevelop a lot of things. And I think she recovered remarkably.
Yeah.
Enough so.
well, I'm still writing.
Her writing career was still open long.
Yeah. Well, the first thing I thought was when he told me I couldn't put 2 words together, I said, oh my gosh, I just got my books going, I just got my career going. And I was just so upset about that. But, life happens. But unfortunately, it happened to me at this time. But I remember I told Mark when I was at the hospital, I had to go to the UW rehab hospital and everything. And I told him that something good had to come out of this, because this had happened, and I'm not going to take it, something good has to come out of this. So I asked him to bring my laptop and my phone, and I wanted to start writing him my experience.
So you did, yes.
Well, but I didn't write my experience. It was Lauren that had the brain injury. But hers wasn't what I had, because I wouldn't do that to Lauren. So I just gave her a concussion. Not a really, really bad concussion, but, So I did that, and
That's how the book, A State of Confusion, came about.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote a book about that, but I left me out of it.
But at least you had something to work with.
Yeah.
Give
Yeah.
you ideas.
Yeah. Well, I think I was lucky that I was even able to come up with the ideas, because, when they turned off the anesthesia, it took 4 days for me to wake up. And I don't know what's going on. So that's my issues. But
Do you prefer to write at home, or do you write no matter where you're at?
yeah, I will write wherever I'm at, unless it's really like a loud place where I can't concentrate.
Well,
But
yeah, I'm wondering if you prefer to be
Well, you know,
300 miles from home,
well,
secluded or?
well, we're snowbirds, so we go
Okay.
to Arizona in the winter. So last winter we went to Arizona, and I was writing. Which book was it? I'm losing my. It was just the last one that I wrote,
Or I guess
the
it's here.
True Hero, yeah. And so I wrote the whole time that I was there, other than, you know, I take the dog out for the walk. I can't write constantly all day.
Right.
So I get up and take the dog for a walk and get out and get some fresh air and sunshine and
Is your dog in the book at all?
not my dog, but there is a
Is a
dog.
dog?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a dog in the book. Well, it's in many books, the dog. Well,
Any other questions?
well,
All right.
maybe wrap it up.
Yeah. So thank you for coming. That's the presentation portion. And now we'll have book sales. So if you'd like to get your hands on a copy, Kelly can sign it. And yeah.
Well, don't forget, I had a brain injury and a stroke at the same time. Because when the brain doesn't get oxygen, it causes strokes too. So I do sign books, but my penmanship's not very good. Because my hand didn't ever come back to normal. It's all numb and stiff and gross.
All right.
But I get through it. I do what I do. Thank you.
I want you to relax and sit down here. You are a lovely speaker.
Well, not when I started. And I,
Are